Mr. Lowe's.
What are you doing, Mr. Lowe's?
Mr. Lowe's.
What are you doing, Mr. Lowe's?
Mr. Lowe's.
Oh, hello. I'm Mr. Lowe. As some of you probably remember, I bought myself a didgeridoo. I've been practicing lots and lots, and I've decided it's time to paint the didgeridoo. I'll show you what I've learnt so far. Before I share with you what I've learnt, do you know that storytelling is very important in Aboriginal culture? The purpose of storytelling is to explain how the land and animals were created, and to teach life lessons. There are many different ways these stories are shared: through painting, dancing, singing, speaking, and music. One of the instruments Aboriginal people use is the didgeridoo. Learning to play the didgeridoo was quite challenging and lots of fun. The first thing I needed to learn was how to make my lips vibrate, and I did this by blowing raspberries. This is the sound it makes. Once I was able to do that, the next thing I wanted to learn was how to make sounds using my voice. The Aboriginal people mimic the sound of animals when telling stories about them. Let's see if you can guess which sound this is. Here's a clue. It's an Australian bird. It's the Australian kookaburra. After learning this, I wanted to learn how to change the sound of the didgeridoo using my tongue. The name didgeridoo is not actually an Aboriginal word. The name was given to describe the sound the instrument makes. The next thing I needed to learn was the most challenging part of all, and that was recycled breathing. After reading a few books and watching some YouTube videos, I learned that recycled breathing means I need to push air through my mouth in two different ways. One way is using my lungs. Another way is using my mouth and cheeks. There were a few strategies to learn how to recycled breathe. One was to hold air in my mouth and breathe in and out my nose, like this. Once I could do that, I then needed to use my fingers to push the air out of my mouth at the same time as I breathe in through my nose. Once I got good at that, I could do it without using my hands. There were a few different strategies. Another one was filling a cup of water and using a straw to blow bubbles, and at the same time blowing out my using my lungs, and then using my mouth and cheeks. Another strategy was to fill my mouth with water from the shower and push a small stream of water out of my mouth whilst I breathe in my nose. But I decided the best strategy for me was to just practice using the didgeridoo. So the first thing I wanted to learn was just to push the air out of my mouth. So I started by doing this. So I used my lungs, then my cheeks and mouth. And I would just keep doing that for a few weeks. Then I thought I'd try and do multiple breathing out of my mouth and cheeks in one until the air of my lungs ran out. Once I was able to do that, I started to try and breathe in my nose as I pushed the air out my cheeks, like this. And that's as good as I could get, because every time I breathed in my nose, it would stop. So for a few weeks, this is what I would do. After a few weeks of that, I tried to do it with my mouth and cheeks 2 times in a row instead of 1. But I still had that little gap. And after lots of practice, I slowly started to close that gap with the didgeridoo stopping. And I learned that the best thing to do, instead of breathing in like this, with a big breath through my nose, the best thing was to do, or to take little sips of air through my nose, like this. Just really small ones. And eventually, I was able to do it without the didgeridoo stopping, like this. Although I have come a far way, I still have a long way to go, because my lungs still need to get stronger, as I do still run out of breath. Because expert, or people who have mastered the didgeridoo, can play constantly for quite a long time. I think I just need to keep practicing until my lungs get stronger and stronger. Now, let's get back to painting. When I first bought the didgeridoo, it had some lacquer over the top. So the first thing I need to do is sand that lacquer off so that the paint will stick. Now that I'm finished sanding off the lacquer, I'm ready to begin painting. Traditionally, the Aboriginal people would use ochre for their paintings, and they had the colours red, orange, yellow, white and black. But because today I have access to any colour I like, I've decided to use black, blue and white. Now I just need to put it in the sun and wait for it to dry before I spray the other half blue. Now I'm ready to start painting the top half blue. I've used some masking tape here so that hopefully once the masking tape is taken away, there will be a nice straight line there. Now that the paint's dry, it's time to remove the tape and see how it looks. Not too bad. Because my totem is the goanna, I'm going to attempt to paint a goanna with dot painting. There we go. Not too bad. I hope you learnt something from this video. See you next time.